Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Whistlethrowers. It's a great way to interact with our show. Our DMs are always open for questions, topic discussions, and more. You will be able to find our new episodes and other announcements there.
Is Father Time catching up on the guy who we thought could escape Father Time? I don't know, but
I think you're talking about a different kind of Father Time. All right, thanks for tuning back to the Whistlethrowers. This is Jack Mubarak, joined by
Jack Slaymaker,
and Shawn Spedale.
And we got a lot of topics to cover today, but first off, we're going to recap NFL Week 4.
I want to go with the Sunday night game. I think we should start there. Chiefs-Bucks. I'm really concerned about the Bucks right now. They can't seem to click everything together at the right time right now. When their defense has a good game, their offense struggles, and then for one time, their offense actually has a pretty good game, and their defense just can't find it. And granted, it was probably the best offense in the league, the Chiefs, who just look prolific right now. We'll get into them in a little bit, but just focusing on Tampa Bay first, I'm a little concerned about that defense because of how porous they looked against a good offense. And it's like, yeah, your defense can look good against teams like the Cowboys and pretenders like the Saints and stuff, but what is your defense going to look like against the teams that you need to beat to get another ring? I'm not really sure where that is right now for them. And on top of that, this week, Brady has been battling injuries in practice. So is Father Time catching up on the guy who we thought could escape Father Time? I don't know, but
I think you're talking about a different kind of Father Time.
Yeah, for real. Brady obviously going through a lot of off the field issues right now. But yeah, I'm nervous for them. You know, from a Tampa Bay fan standpoint, I would be very nervous right now.
It's interesting because Brady had low-key, and it didn't feel like just watching the game, but his stats during the game were actually not bad. Like, he threw for 385 yards. Their running backs were basically shut down. Leonard Fournette had, like, I think it was, like, negative yards, something like that.
Yeah, he had negative 3 yards.
Yeah. So, when you look at that, like, Brady basically carried them, but again, it didn't really feel like that. And on top of it, like you said, the defense just didn't look good. But the defense looked great against the Packers, who are considered a front runner for the NFC East right now.
Yeah.
They only allowed 14 points against them. So they played well in other games. And I think, Jack, I totally agree with you. The Chiefs' offense is like nothing you're going to face. And in the upcoming games against teams in the NFC, you're playing the Falcons and Panthers, who have two of the worst offenses in football. So I think they'll be okay there. But yeah, that consistency just hasn't been there. And they really need to figure it out because right now 2-2, it's enough to win the South. The South is just terrible.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to be worried about making it deep into the playoffs.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not really sure where the Packers rank in total team offense this year. They are top 10. Just pulling it up really quick. It looks like they're number 6. So yeah, you're right that Tampa Bay looked really good against that offense for Green Bay. Hopefully they can click it together for one game, you know, offense and defense. Because if they do, the talent on that team is scary, and I mean the coaching staff is obviously what it is, you know. So Tampa Bay, if they could put it together, it'll be really scary. But obviously health is a concern for them too. We know about their injuries from the offseason, and then, like I said, Brady battling injuries through practice this week. Could be an issue for them. Godwin, too, has been banged up all year. He can't really seem to stay on the field.
Bowles was absent for practice this week too, so it's not a good sign.
Yeah, right.
And I would say, talking about Tampa Bay at this point, though, in Tom Brady's career, as a fan, at least not me personally as a fan, but for you, Jack, I would say regular season doesn't matter, honestly. If you just get into the playoffs, it's Tom Brady at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I mean, like, to me, this is the most wide open the NFC's been in a decent amount of time.
That's so true.
The Rams, like, are they really going to be the team we thought they were last year? No, they've been fading too. Don't get me wrong, the Eagles are coming out strong.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that, as well as an easy schedule, but Hurts has stepped up. I know we can go deeper into that later. But right now, like, Tampa beat debatably a top 3 team in the NFC in the Packers.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just get to the playoffs, and with that kind of division, they can just kind of snooze their way to the regular season. Just get in there healthy, and then when they're on, they're on. Like, they're one of the best teams in the league, so with all the talent they have, Tom Brady's the greatest equalizer in the NFL. So
yeah, that's so true.
At the end of the day, like, just get to the playoffs. With that division, I'm not worried till...
Right, yeah. They have no worries in that division, yeah.
Yeah, you can cakewalk through that, but you can figure it out with everything else going on. Just get to the playoffs, let Tom Brady do Tom Brady things.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone's going to figure it out, it's definitely Tom Brady.
Yeah, right. I 100% agree. I guess now's a good time to go to the Eagles, too.
Oh, yeah. Only
right
undefeated
in.
team in the NFL right now.
I mean, first off, I want to shout out all Eagles fans, myself included, who battled it out in the rain that day. If you stuck there the whole time like I did, props to you, man. That was a cold, wet day, but we watched a good football team win a good game. I mean, the Eagles look really good. And even though they gave up 21 points, I feel like it was a little bit – I think that score was a little inflated because obviously Hurts threw the pick 6, so that's 7 off for the defense. So they really gave up 14 points. And the one touchdown that they did give up in the second half, it was because they were missing a lot of guys. Like Slay was injured, and they had Josiah Scott in the game who just had a bad couple snaps. I thought besides that he played pretty well, but those couple snaps obviously led to that touchdown. But other than that, I mean, the defense was stifling that game. I mean, they were getting in Trevor Lawrence's pocket all game. I mean, they were in his lap the whole time. Well, they have 4 strips of Trevor Lawrence.
It was 4 forced fumbles. Well, but see, here's the thing about that. 2 of those were drops by
Right.
Trevor.
Yeah, I was going to say the one was bad, and then he tried sneaking the one, which was bad too.
The sneak was bad. The 4th and 3 was even worse because he fumbled it with no defenders around him.
Yeah.
And he had Christian Kirk wide open for the first down.
Yeah.
They're pretty much, they would have gotten the first. I think they would have scored on that drive too. They would have been up 21-0.
Yeah, right, yeah. That would have changed the game.
And I'm not trying to discredit the Eagles at all because they did a great job this game.
Right.
People forget how close they were to being absolutely blown out at home by Jacksonville, which could have been a huge letdown game, and who knows what the season would be if that didn't happen.
Right, yeah. 3-1 is a lot different than 4-0 right now.
Yeah.
Especially in the NFC East because you have 2 teams that are 3-1 also.
I think
the thing is, sometimes the ball just bounces a different way. And
I was going to say that, yeah.
You know what? They played well through the other 2 games outside of Detroit, and sometimes the ball just has to bounce your way, and that's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
And like, let's be real. That's on Trevor Lawrence at the end of the day. And, like, Hurts could have done that too. Hurts threw the ball plenty of times. And no fumbles from him because he's just really secure with the football. I think that says a lot about the Eagles, that Jacksonville had 5 turnovers in the bad weather versus the Philadelphia Eagles 1 turnover, which was on their first drive. So they pretty much played a clean 4 quarters of football after that pick 6.
And I want to just interject one thing here, guys. Besides Jalen Hurts, what's like the biggest takeaway of improvement for the Eagles? Because not being an Eagles fan, I don't really get to watch too many of the games, but for me, it's got to be like the offensive explosion. The fact that
100%.
AJ Brown rolling like coverages
crazy,
just to him, and Devontae Smith, it really seems like
insane.
it's 1A, 1B kind
No,
of thing.
Devontae Smith has taken such a huge leap. Eagles fans haven't seen a receiving core like this since.
I couldn't even tell you, honestly.
Seriously, like Mike Quick and Harold Carmichael, like 80s.
Like back
I'm going back. Like
my prediction's looking
Chris
good on
Carter,
Smith.
Mike Quick, like that far back. Because T.O. was amazing, obviously, but we had him for that 1 year, and the number 2 receiver was Todd Pinkston. So, like, what is that, you know? Like, A.J. Brown is an unquestionable top 10 receiver in the league. And Devontae Smith is unquestionably top 20 in the league. And their talent is, you can't even put it into words, just what it does for your offense. So I haven't seen a prolific passing attack like this. Seriously, this is better than Carson Wentz 2017. Like, just this passing attack as a whole.
Just look at
it
the
is.
dynamic playmakers you have to begin with, though. You have top
Right.
10 O-line.
That's the word, dynamic.
Yeah, no. And then the fact that the lowest, like, securest option on your team is Miles Sanders,
Right.
who's not even what we would consider like a below-average back. Miles Sanders still, like, had one of the highest average
Yeah.
yards per carry in his entire career
Right.
going into the point.
Yeah.
Most of the time, Eagles fans wanted to run the ball more
Yeah.
than anything else in before. So the fact that he's, like the leftover piece of all this
Right.
is crazy to me because
100%.
Jalen Hurts gets more, praise for his
Yeah,
legs than Miles
recognition
Sanders
pretty
does.
much.
Yeah.
You're
So-
right. And, like, Miles Sanders is in a contract year right now, so if he stays healthy, he's going to keep it up. Like, he's going to be going crazy because they're going to feed him the ball.
Oh,
He had
yeah.
27 carries on Sunday. That was a career high. It's going to be around there. It's going to be 15 to 20 pretty much
I don't know how
every
you're
game.
gonna stop your offense between that kind of like elite rushing attack on
Right.
top of AJ Brown and Smith playing the way they are.
And here's the other thing, too. The Eagles, 2 offensive linemen got hurt in that game. And it's like, I'm telling you right now, no other team in the league can say we lost 2 offensive linemen in a game and didn't even skip a beat. They didn't skip a beat. They filled it in, and those two fill-ins, Jack Driscoll and Sua Opeta at right guard, didn't even... Right, he had a great game. I mean, they're both really good at run blocking. The pass blocking could have been better, but, like, they can fix that with communication. So, like...
When they came in the game, you really just needed to ice the clock running.
Exactly, yeah, you had to. And they were amazing at that. Like, Sua Opeta was on Miles Sanders' big run. What did it go for? Like 30-something.
Yeah, 35.
Opeta made a key block on that on the linebacker, which just opened up. You could drive an 18-wheeler through the hole he created. Like, dude, no other team can say that. Like, teams lose it on one O-lineman. Matter of fact, two. They're screwed.
Look at the Bucks we were just talking about.
Right, yeah. Like, they lose, and, like, the Eagles literally didn't even skip a beat. That should scare people.
Yeah.
That should really scare people.
Obviously, I think the Eagles are really scary, but similar to when we played the Vikings, I feel like the other team did take themselves out of the game. I feel like Jacksonville, single-handedly, Trevor Lawrence took them out of that game.
I kind of agree
with all the fumbles.
Yeah.
But they played great. And to answer your question, I agree with what Slay said with the receiving core being the biggest improvement from last year, but we just talked about Sanders. Like, he's already had a better season than last year.
Yeah, right.
Undoubtedly.
And, dude, honestly, those two things might not even be the biggest improvement. Like, you could argue the defense.
Yeah.
Like, last year we were bottom 3 in sacks, and this year I think we're number 1. I might be wrong. We were horrible in turnover differential. That has completely flipped. Like, dude, this team is miles and miles above what last year was.
And here's my thing with that is most good teams don't have a good pass rush, for example. I'm sure last year with the Eagles, you guys didn't have this kind of offense, at least at this early on. There's probably flashes, but not to this extent.
No, you're right.
But every pass rusher knows, every DB knows when our team is scoring points, guess what? That team's going to stop they're going to not run the ball. They're going to start passing the ball. Got to pin your ears back? Yeah, no. Yeah. Plus, the James Bradbury signing, underrated. No,
right, yeah, 100%.
But between him and Darius Slay, secondary is way more improved. But now the fact that you can be more aggressive, there's swag now, there's energy.
Yeah.
It's like, we're up by 14 points. We can afford to take that chance. We can pin our ears back and go get this quarterback.
Yeah, right.
So then you're playing aggressive, you're playing angry. It's like synonymous. Your offense is doing better. Oh, guess what? Then the pass rush is coming along.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to find holes on this team that aren't going to stem from Jalen Hurts deficiencies, and he has shown none right now.
No.
And that just makes it incredibly scary as anyone else, in the NFC at least. Absolutely going to run roughshod through the NFC.
Right. I was watching, who's the old Lions quarterback who works for ESPN?
Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, Dan Orlovsky. He was on NFL Live yesterday morning, and he was just, like, he does the breakdown of the Hurts RPO with the Eagles. I mean, it's literally unstoppable. And he was just breaking down basically how Hurts reads the linebacker, and it's like the defense can't be right in the situation, because if the DB drops to the pass, they're going to run behind the best offensive line in the NFL, minus that linebacker who just went out for the pass. So, like, dude, you're screwed. Then if he comes in on the box, Hurts will just pull it out of the belly and dump it to A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert or Devontae Smith. Like, it's unstoppable. It's seriously unstoppable. I will be very surprised if there's a defense that can hold the Eagles under 21 points. Like, if you can stop this offense from scoring 3 touchdowns, you're legit. I'm very impressed because it's going to be extremely difficult for anyone to do that. Like,
who is the best defense in the league right now?
Jacksonville's
Jacksonville
up there, actually.
I can pull it up real quick. I think it may have been Jacksonville. I know they had the
bad showing. Jacksonville's the
yeah.
They were top 3, but I think we dropped them a couple ranks.
I was gonna say, you had to.
And, like, for now, the stats are going to be skewed.
Giants?
Really? Oh.
What juggernauts.
Yeah, I know. That'll drop.
Then the Bears are up there, too, actually, passing defense. I think we're second allowed. Yeah, you're playing 3 rainstorms. I mean, anything works good for defense.
Yeah. We brought up Bears and Giants. You want to go over that game real quick?
Yeah.
So, Aiden, how's what's it called, QB rollout? I mean, how many times did that work last week? Jesus. Literally, Daniel Jones, play action. It's like no one's ever seen play action on the Bears. I don't understand what happened. We made Daniel Jones look like Michael Vick out there. There was no edge contained on every play action.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. And to boot, when he went out with a sprained ankle and Saquon Barkley was the quarterback, we still couldn't stop the run.
Yeah. So, I need to be filled in here a little bit because I didn't watch and I just heard about this briefly. Saquon Barkley was taking snaps at quarterback, like dropping back to pass,
or
just handing off.
Straight wildcat. And
Holy poverty franchise.
Yeah, wow.
We lost that game.
That's insane. Yeah, I mean, really. And maybe we can ask you this question because you're obviously an avid Bears fan. What's going on with Justin Fields right now? Like, what?
Is he
I
throwing
have my take on it. I'm going to let
I just want to. I'll go quick here. I haven't seen anything from Justin Fields that makes me think he can build in the future. But at the same time, I watched him at Ohio State, and like he was talented, and like I feel like his play style from that could translate well in the NFL. Like I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I feel like it's the same thing that happened last year under Nagy's offense, where they're just not giving Fields a legitimate chance to prove what he can do. Because I mean, he threw it. This is the most passes he's attempted all season. He was 11 for 22, which isn't great. 174 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Those stats right there aren't bad. And the fact that he's thrown 22 passes is at least something. But they didn't give him a legit shot to actually throw the ball downfield. The other issue is the defenses are just going to be way more aggressive. That's what's been happening. Is that they're going to play super tight on the line because they know that the Bears aren't really going to pass. The issue is that they really shut down Herbert. And now that Montgomery's out, they're just going to keep going. Like, and Herbert's a great running back. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Montgomery.
No, yeah, I agree.
More aggressive knowing that Montgomery's out, and it's just going to make the whole thing worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what you said. So, I don't know if you guys saw this. Going into this week, the Bears had their red zone, for example. What would be a aggressive amount of run play, you think, percentage in the red zone? So, inside the 20-yard line of the other team. We had a 95% of our plays. The first red zone play of the season, pass, touchdown. The next 19 plays in the red zone going into the Giants game, runs.
That's
so
insane.
Talked about predicticality. I will say this for Fields, as I'm going to return this back to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, right? Who was sold on Jalen Hurts last year, like officially sold on him?
Yeah,
some flashes.
No.
Yeah, some, but like,
I would argue Justin Fields can do anything Jalen Hurts can do. I think he's more physically gifted. Not saying between the ears, but I think he's bigger, faster, and has a stronger arm.
Right.
That was our unquestioned things.
No, I don't disagree with that
The
at all.
only thing that the people questioned was he a one-read quarterback and taking off? Was it Matt Nagy's fault? It was everything besides Fields. But you put up too much like draft capital into getting that guy. And what people don't understand, he's like a rookie all over again. This is the first time a new offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, coming over from the Packers with a supposedly very, what am I going to call it, advanced scheming for offense, right? Quarterback grew for Aaron Rodgers. You got the seal of approval, whatever that means.
Right.
But this is his fourth game in the Giants game, the entire time of that playbook. So, to me, I'm judging this purely on rookie season again, which sucks because I don't think Hurts really did anything when it was just Smith. And I think Smith, debatably, ceiling-wise, could be better than Mooney, obviously. I'm biased. Of course, I think Mooney's a dynamic number 2 on any given team. But I think without that true number 1, without the threat of a decent passing game, people just, I don't know if you see this, Aiden, but when they're crashing the box, they're not even biting on it. Like, Justin Fields got nowhere to go. There's a specific chart. I wish I could found it, but Fields' receivers are averaging less than half a yard of separation per route. Half a yard of separation.
Yeah, there's just, and this is, Mooney is sort of what my opinion was with Devontae Smith last year, where he's a good wide receiver. You need a true number 1 with him to really open up his potential.
Yeah.
But you can't have Mooney be the number 1, and then, like, Corey Kent is done nothing as your number 1 tight end. So there's just no.
It's a rebuilding year,
but it's processes every offseason of being like, hey, we're gonna get the lowest class amount of players and try to win with them and think that the fans will be satisfied. Because 1, you're not going to win with them, and 2, the fans are definitely not satisfied with the way they're playing.
1,000%, but if I told you the Bears are 2-2 the first 4 games, I would say I'd take it.
Oh, yeah, no, I would not have bet that at all.
Yeah, right. Okay, as much as I'm saying that, they are winning in spite of me hating on them, but...
Because of defense.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The defense isn't even, like, in my opinion at least, you can't stop the run. You can't stop anybody. We're giving up, over 180 yards rushing a game?
Okay, yeah, that's horrible. Yeah.
But I mean,
listen, if you're terrible against the run, you're good against the pass because no one's going to pass the ball when they can just run it down their throat.
Yeah.
Right? But I think this week's probably going to expose the Bears' deficiencies in the passing game more than the running game for once.
Okay.
With Jalen Johnson, again, picking up the DMP this weekend, or this Thursday. Justin Jefferson's going to go against Kendall Builder, a 5th-round pick from last year. It's going to be raps.
I heard late round pick versus Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I
know.
But also, again, patience. Aiden knows Bears have $120 million in cap,
right,
the most in the entire league. So
that's a lot.
If we can just even win 5 or 6 games and Fields looks competent, I would like to see what you guys did with Hurts, surround him with that kind of talent.
Right.
I would love to see some talent surrounded by Fields.
Someone's going to want to play with him, I think. A receiver.
They will pay a receiver. They'll pay somebody to play with him.
Yeah, they should pay someone on the O-line, too. You need to get like a foundational young piece on the O-line, maybe in the draft.
To say anything about the Giants, because I know it's very Bears heavy. The Giants, Daniel Jones, I think, is the most mediocre quarterback.
Right.
I'm with you.
I think mediocre is a compliment for him.
Yeah, I think he's the worst in the entire NFL. No, come on.
Come on. Because Daniel Jones has his legs. What does Jimmy have?
He has a Super Bowl appearance.
His looks?
Yeah.
Because he has the best defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL, and one of the best playmakers with Deebo Samuel, and one of the best coaches in Shanahan.
And George Kittle.
Outside of that, he would be nothing. Put on any other team, he'd be the worst quarterback in the NFL by far.
But I would argue that the Niners are more production of Kyle Shanahan. They have like whoever back there quarterback, and they're going to be good.
Yeah.
To a degree. But again, touching on the Giants. Giants brought their exotic blitzes. I know they've been pretty good against the pass this year. Their rookies didn't really flash so much. I was watching Kayvon Thibodeau the entire time. It was okay. It wasn't up or down. It was 4th or 5th round or overall pick going out there. So I thought that was okay. The Bears neutralized him a little bit. But Saquon Barkley might be Saquon Barkley of 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah, I know. He looks really good.
He looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, he's going to be that,
It's one of those things where I feel like, though, it's like they have such a lack of talent on that offense because their receivers are literally Kenny Galladay and co. And Kenny Galladay forgot how to catch the ball since Detroit. Saquon Barkley, I think, is going to be the engine that drives that team. But if he can't go, that team is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Let's transition to the Packers and the Patriots game. It was probably the biggest shock for me. It was really close and almost embarrassing because Patriots are playing two backup quarterbacks.
Right, yeah.
And the thing that stuck out to me in that game was the deep dime that Rodgers threw to Romeo Doubs in the end zone, and he couldn't come down with it.
Yeah.
And you say, like, you can't really pin the weapons on Rodgers. I mean, but like, you're not getting a better ball than that.
Nah, yeah, I agree. But, I mean, at the same time, drops do happen. And, like, I mean, you could have said the same thing about Wentz for a couple years, but, like...
You guys want to defend Wentz now?
No, I'm not. I don't want to defend him.
Yeah, Wentz
That's
and
what I'm
Rodgers,
saying.
same category.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
And, like, I mean, are you really going to blame the rookie like that? Like, I mean,
no, but it's just
that's the
recurring
thing,
theme
though.
here.
This is the thing with Rodgers. Like, a rookie drops a pass, and, like, what do you think he should say when he gets back in the huddle? What do you think Rodgers should say?
He's going to say catch the ball.
He should pat him on the helmet and say, get the next one.
Yeah,
right? He should.
Yeah.
That's what a good teammate does.
That's what he's done, but Jack, I agree. That's what he should do.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly, and that's, like, my knock on him. And, like, Dobbs didn't even have that bad of a game. 5 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown. Like, are you going to knock him that much? Like, yeah, he dropped a ball, but, like, there are plays that happened after that dropped pass. You know, you can't just dissect one play. And that's what he did with the... Yeah, and, like, that's what he did with the Watson drop against Minnesota, too. Like, Rodgers checked out mentally of the game. He checked out after that. And it's like, you can't just dwell on one play like that. Like, there are 4 quarters of football, you know?
I prefer him dwelling.
Yeah, I know. I
can dwell as long
agree.
as he wants to dwell on it. He still won the game. I wish I could dwell.
Yeah, I know.
In my unbiased opinion, I think he makes almost losing to a backup quarterback look really cool, but that's just me.
Oh, God. Zappy is how you pronounce it. He played well, though.
I think he could actually be... The Patriots might have gotten a steal in this one.
I know, yeah. Is Bill gonna weasel?
Would you really play him
backup?
over Mac though?
Nah.
I would play him over Hoyer. If Mac
Yeah, I'd play him over Hoyer.
Did you guys see Brian Hoyer's in the IR?
He's
He
done.
is.
Yeah.
What was it? Do you know?
Brian Hoyer IR.
For what? Do you know?
Adam Schefter. It was like a little bit ago. I saw the tweet.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was on IR now.
Oh, probably it was a shoulder injury too, I think.
Shoulder.
They
Okay.
said- yeah. So if it's Mac and Zappy and Mac keeps struggling, why not put Zappy in? This dude literally led the NCAA in passing yards and touchdowns last season.
Yeah. So, and I mean, he proved he deserves another chance next week. So.
His stats were 10 for 15, 99 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. For a third-string quarterback?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's pretty good. And like, if Mac, listen, there's no way Mac Jones is going to be healthy on next week. Dude, that injury was bad.
No, yeah, I can't see him playing the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I can't see it. So like, I know Mac Jones wants to play and like thinks he can play, but nah. I think you should let Zappy play this one out, and then when Mac is healthy, you put Mac back in.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
And we can transition. We talked about this last episode as it was happening, but when Miami played the Bengals, Tua went down, and we kind of shared our thoughts on what we thought of Tua even playing that game.
Yeah.
Was.
It was a back injury.
Yeah, very. And where do the Dolphins stand in all this? Like, they're gonna have Teddy B for at least this week.
Yeah.
They're not undefeated anymore.
No, it's a major downgrade. I'm really worried about Tua's health, just from a human standpoint. Like, obviously, I want him to play football, but I'm super concerned about long-term effects of that. And honestly, I don't even know if I want him to play football again, just because it's like, it's such a huge risk, and like, we know what can happen.
Do you think, I'm not wishing this, of course, but like, God forbid, he like went out there when he was cleared to be healthy and he got a third concussion in the 1 year. Do you think that's retirement?
I think it should. I mean, it's obviously going to be his decision, and like, I don't know.
Would it be wise?
That's why I think it would be. And honestly, if I was in his camp, I would be probably pushing him to retire, because listen, as much money as he would miss out on in the NFL, like, Tua would get a job, being an analyst or announcing, or he could go back and coach at Alabama. Like, he will be financially well off. So I think that he should take that route just for his health. But in terms of the Miami Dolphins, how it affects them on the field, it's just such a different team without Tua right now because of how well Tua was playing. And I talked last week, I think it was, about how amazing Tyreek Hill is.
Yeah.
I think that can be the difference maker for Miami. I think that their offense can be okay without Tua. Obviously not as prolific as they were, but good enough, we'll say.
Mm-hmm. On the other side of the ball, do you think the Bengals are starting to resurge?
Yeah, definitely. I think that they're catching their footing a little bit here. They needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally sold on the Bengals. Their one win was over the Jets, the Jets have been the most bizarre team in the NFL by far.
Yeah.
Their wins over the Browns and Steelers, I mean, the Browns win was nothing short of remarkable, or almost impossible, basically.
Right.
The Steelers one was also just a really nice win, and they have two brutal losses to the Ravens and Bengals as well. But the Bengals now won 2 straight. They looked a lot more confident than they did against Dallas and Pittsburgh, who both have above-average defenses. So I think that at this point, what I've gotten from the Bengals so far is that when they're playing a defense that can't hit Burrow, they'll be fine.
Yep.
If they're versing a defense that's going to get to the quarterback, they're in trouble.
Yeah, that's completely right. And like, I also think in this sense, how is their run offense going to be late in games against good teams? Because, like you said, Aiden, a great pass rush is going to hurt them. So they're going to have to rely on their run game a little bit. And it's like, how good actually is their run blocking? Because that's going to be the X factor for them. If they can't pass, they're going to have to develop ways to run the football. And honestly, I don't know if they can do it. So I agree with you. I'm not totally sold in on them. I had them at 10 wins, or I think I had them at 9 wins before the season started. I still believe they'll finish around there. And honestly, I think they might miss out on the playoffs.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys want to transition to the Jets and Steelers game?
Yeah. Okay.
Personally, I think it was a little premature to put Pickett in, but do you guys disagree? Do you think?
Nah, I think that it was the right call by them because this week, obviously, as much as they might want to deny that, I think Najee Harris said that the media was creating something with this, but I think it really says something that the receivers were frustrated with Mitchell Trubisky in the starting quarterback role. So I think when your receivers are frustrated like that and your offense is struggling and you need to salvage something, I think that was the right move by Mike Tomlin to put Kenny Pickett in the game. And he didn't play terribly. I mean, for a first out. Yeah, the 3 picks is like, yeah. I think he only had, right, yeah, yeah. And he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So I think that there's something to build on there. Well, obviously, there's a lot of time for him, so we'll see. But I don't know. I don't really know. With
question is, will this be Tomlin's first losing season?
Yeah, yeah. That's not a winning. That team is not good, especially with T.J. Watt out. They're not good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I will say this about the Steelers situation. Especially as a Bears fan, seeing Trubisky and the Matt Nagy play calling. Now I know it's not the same, but to see an incompetent offense, and Pittsburgh fans are not used to seeing that kind of level of incompetence for their offense, especially with the playmakers they have.
Yeah.
I think that was more like, hey, listen, like, we're frustrated. The fans are frustrated. Like, why not give the kid the chance to play?
Right, yeah, he's your first round pick.
Yeah, it's your first round pick. Our offense needs some juice.
Yeah,
it needs good, bad. We need juice on this team.
Yeah,
let's put him in there at the end of the day. He can't be worse than Trubisky.
He can't. I mean, Trubisky was bad, and
but even if they were the same, like if you're the same, might as well give the young kid time.
Yeah, right. He might develop.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Trubisky is what he is.
He's a placeholder at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's one.
He's a backup QB.
He's one of the more quality quarterbacks that you have on your team. Like if he's not your starter, that's a great backup.
Yeah.
He's been to the playoffs, but at the end of the day, you're looking at that level of incompetence for Pittsburgh. I would say play the kid.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and I only lean hesitant taking Kenny Pickett in the game and putting Mitch out is because I don't like rookie quarterbacks jumping into the mix too soon because I don't think it works out well most of the time.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe it'll work out this time because Tomlin can make anyone good.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, like you said, I love Mike Tomlin. He's a phenomenal coach. So I think that Kenny Pickett feeling his way through this season with Mike Tomlin leading him I think that it'll bode well for him. I think that they have a bright future. I mean, they're not going to fire Tomlin. Tomlin's there pretty much for life. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that they're going to be just fine. Pickett, I just feel like it's hard to fail with Tomlin, I feel like it's hard to fail.
Yeah.
So, I think that Pickett will be good.
Do you guys think the Chargers are kind of slipping on all expectations they had?
Yeah, obviously injuries have riddled them so far too. But
they were my Super Bowl pick.
Really?
Going into the year, they were my Super Bowl pick.
You put money on that?
Yeah, I do. Oh. And reason being is I thought the Chargers were going to be like LA superstar Chargers. They got Khalil Mack. They have Joey Bosa, debatably the best DNs in the league.
Yeah, I know.
They got Mr. Interception himself, J.C. Jackson on that team. They have all this stuff on their team. Herbert, Austin Eckler, and I thought, and first of all, the Baby Blues, come on now. But
yeah, they look real good.
I really thought, even in that division, what I saw last year was if Herbert can just play the same as he did last year, on top of getting debatably one of the best corners in the league and debatably a top 10 edge rusher, to pair with Joey Bosa already, with Derwin James healthy coming back, I expected way more from the defense, let alone the offense. I expected way more defensively from this team. Now, Joey Bosa is hurt, but still, this defense needs to...
Yeah.
At least for the first quarter of the season, I'm a little disappointed with them. I had such high expectations where even average plays, for me, it's still disappointing.
Yeah. And now Bosa's hurt for them too, which is such a blow. And after watching that Jacksonville offense, it's very eye-opening that the Chargers gave up 38 points to them. That's horrendous. The Jaguars...
More Chargers or more Jacksonville, you think? A little bit of both?
A little bit of both. The truth is somewhere in the middle. I don't think Jacksonville's bad. I'm not trying to say Jacksonville's bad. But they aren't a third... Jacksonville shouldn't put up 38 on anyone, though.
Fair. Okay. I'll take that.
So them putting up 38
that's like pretty bad. And
Yeah.
for the Chargers, yeah.
The thing is, they could easily be 3-1. The loss of the Chiefs was pretty close. Like, yeah, the Jacksonville game was bad, but I feel like that's almost an outlier.
Yeah.
And they're 2-2. The two teams they lost to, like we said, Chiefs and Jaguars, were both. Chiefs are, I think, up there with the Bills. You could argue either one of them is the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
And then you got the Jaguars, who had a really good defense until they played the Eagles. And even their offense, like, yeah, they might not put up 38 points ever again, but it's still decent enough where you can have some games like that. So I think 2-2 after this part of the schedule, like, I'm not. It's definitely a bit of a concern, but warning bells aren't going off just yet.
Yeah, and I agree with you because they're going to get healthy too. So if they can just stay afloat for right now, they're going to get some dudes back, and yeah, then they can take off. Like Herbert's got to get healthy.
Yes.
And obviously, like I said, Bosa needs to get back on the field. Yeah, hopefully they can turn things around because for right now, it's not really looking great.
And I think we'll finish off with the NFL by covering the Ravens and the Bills game. This was not what it was advertised, in my opinion, to be.
Yeah.
Who wants to take lead on this?
I still have the Bills number one in my power rankings. As much as I see them lose, see them win against the Ravens. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
They're still number one to me. I know the Eagles are 4-0, but I think when that team is on, when they have both their safeties and their top cornerback with that kind of offense and Josh Allen, I don't think there's a team that can beat them because to me, they're the number one defense and number one offense in the league. Like, when they're on kind of thing. Now, I will say this. I want your guys' opinion about your call with the Lamar Jackson fourth down play. If you're not familiar with it, they went for it on fourth down. 2020, I believe it was inside the 10-yard line of the Bills.
There was like 4 minutes left, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was 2020. Do you take points there, or are you going for that touchdown?
I mean, I understand why they didn't, because Lamar's getting the ball right after that, and he has enough time to score if they were to kick a field goal. But you gotta trust your defense, and you gotta realize that you have the best kicker of all time on your team. I would have kicked it, but I'm not really faulting the Ravens for going for it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And
here's why I agree with the decision, and it's because what happened after that. Harbaugh trusted his defense. If Harbaugh trusted his defense as much as he did, and he clearly did, his thought process was, okay, we have them pinned at the 2-yard line. Like, what is the worst thing that can happen? There's no way they're driving from 2 all the way into field goal position to get the lead. Now, if you kick the field goal, you then have to trust your defense to not let them score a touchdown or kick a field goal again. But the thing is, you're now starting, let's say, at the 20 instead of the 2, and you can tie the game and still go to OT. So I feel like if you get the full 7, and even if you don't trust your defense that much, you can still let them score a little bit, but knowing you have a 7-point lead. Where now you only have 3, and you're still trusting your defense to make a stop of 40 yards. I just wouldn't feel comfortable in that situation, especially with the way the Ravens defense played against the Dolphins 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I actually agree with that, Aiden. And I feel let's say you kick the field goal there, and then you kick the ball back to Buffalo, and you said 4 minutes left in the game. Buffalo is just going to march down just like they did literally in the game and score a touchdown, or at least take the time off, and then you're going to have to go to overtime, and it's right, yeah. So I completely agree, and it's just unfortunate how it turned out. Lamar threw the pick, and they got the touchback. That was worst case scenario. The idea was smart, and it's just the dice didn't roll in your favor. Unfortunately, but I'm not Baltimore is one of those teams too that could be sounding warning sounds right now, but I don't think that they should be either because their defense is playing so poorly right now. But at the same time, they have veteran players on the defense that could turn things around for them. So I don't think that the defense is going to play this bad when we are sitting here in November and December.
Yeah, so I actually agree with everybody. Do I think John Harbaugh sometimes overdoes it with even this call, for example? Sometimes it blows you up in your face. I'm always on the team let's do this. Let's win the game. I hate playing for let's maybe win the game and hope we're we're gonna win the game right now. And then worst case scenario, our defense hopefully bails us out.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like the Bills were running all up and down the field the entire game.
Yeah, they weren't.
Exactly. So I love the call of let's win the game right here, or at least let's be up by a touchdown. Worst case scenario, we go to overtime. Right?
Right.
So I really like the fact that they win the game. I like John Harbaugh when he does these things. Yeah. Sometimes, though, it's like, of course, like, oh, why don't you go for 3? Like, it's easier mindset. Like, right?
I completely agree.
2020. Yeah. But sometimes in the moment, like being a player, anyone's being competitive. It's like, no, we want to win right now.
And that's Harbaugh, too. Like, if you remember last year against the Packers, he went for a 2-point conversion instead of kicking the extra point to tie it. And, like, after the game, he said, I made that because I trusted my guys. Like, that's just how he is.
And I love that as a fan. I wish my coach was like, you know what? Like, win, lose, or draw, like, my players decide the game. We're not going to kick the ball and make you guys decide. We're going to put our own faith in our hands. We score. Good luck with that touchdown. We don't, our D's going to bail us out. Yeah. I love the confidence in it. Almost an arrogance to it. And I like it on my team, at least.
Yeah.
I wish more teams did that.
Yeah, and it pumps some air into your players, like kind of makes them play better, I feel like, when they know that their coach is like that.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Because John Harbaugh has won a Super Bowl, he's been with that team. I don't think a newer coach can do something like that, personally. He built up so much a reputation with Baltimore. I don't think a newer coach can get away with being that gutsy. But him, all the time, he can go for it.
I think you see it in, like, Nathaniel Hackett, and he just comes off as, like, a bowhead.
That's right.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it's so different.
Yeah, you are right on that, too, though. Because, like, Hackett is kind of making decisions, like, along the same lines.
Like, if Matt Eberflus did that on the Bears team, I'd be like, oh, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He can't do it. Like, kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Like, no, but, like, he's won a Super Bowl. Like, it's different. Like,
he's built a culture there.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't. It's like when Bill Belichick does it. What are you going to say? Like, he's wrong? It's like, no. Like, he's won 7 Super Bowls. Like, or 6 Super Bowls.
Pats fans really, like, shit on him now, though.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, it's not like he's, like, the greatest winningest coach, like, ever for the most part. Like,
I don't even know if I blame them, though, because he's just making so many, like, not just bad decisions, but illogical is the word. Like,
Bailey Zappman, future.
Or
Zappy, whatever it is,
but
future.
I'm not sure how the guard they took in the first round is playing. Aiden, do you know how he's playing, or you haven't seen anything?
Who's that?
Pretty sure it's Cole Strange.
Yeah, Cole Strange.
I'm pretty sure he's the guy.
For the Patriots? I'm not really sure if he's playing.
Having trouble hearing you guys, so.
Cole Strange from Chattanooga, I believe.
Is that... He's on the Patriots, right?
Correct. Yeah, do you know if he's, like, playing well or anything? Do you know?
I do not, but that's not a name. I feel like if he was...
Yeah.
A name that we recognize.
I don't even know if he's getting snaps, but, like...
If I can pull it up here.
Yeah.
He's getting snaps. He's an underweight, uber athletic center / guard. His issue was power in college, just because he is a little bit on the lighter side.
Okay.
But he's outperformed. His projected draft mock was the 3rd and 4th round.
Right.
Bill Belichick, thinking he's the smartest man in the room, took him in the 1st. So good job, Bill. But like he hasn't like necessarily disappointed for a first round guard.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's not flashy because he's an old lineman and it's the back end of the draft. Yeah. But to have most teams, it was actually a funny interview with Sean McVay when Cole Strange got picked. They're like, oh, we just wasted the last 2 hours scouting him in the 4th round. So a lot of teams had like a later like draft grade on him.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point, Bill's got to stop being the smartest man in the room and maybe start erring on the side of what the fans want, because Brady's not in town anymore. People are going to be a little bit less patient with his decision making.
Yeah, you're right. Sure. And like the fans have been telling him pretty much for like a year and a half now to get Mac Jones some help here, and they want. It's
Jacoby
not good.
Myers,
nice.
Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah. Woo. So like they aren't happy right now with their receiving core, and like he's been missing out on these draft picks. Like he took N'Keal Harry from Arizona State in the first round.
He's gonna be a stud in Chicago.
We'll say.
It's just such a boring team. Like all the top,
I completely agree.
Like skill position players, they're not fun to watch.
And it's like they're not bad, but they're not good. They're just like average.
Yeah, it's part of the system too. Like they're not really supposed to like.
Yeah, right.
Like the Spurs.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like that. Yeah,
kind of. Spurs had like really good players.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, like Spurs.
The Spurs were like robots. They were like robots.
We show up, we
Popovich
win. Okay,
bots.
great. No emotion. Keep winning titles.
Yeah, right. That was pretty much it.
So transition to the MLB real quick. Aaron Judge broke the AL record for home runs in a season, and I believe it's tied for 6th or 7th, like all time, like regarding conferences, like disregarding conferences.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think this like ranks in like impressiveness compared to the rest? Because
for them, because of the steroids, you're saying?
Yes.
Allegedly. What are you saying?
Allegedly. It's something to note.
I don't know where to fall on that side of the fence because, like, cheating is cheating. At the same time, like, if I took steroids, would I be a good baseball player? No. You know what I mean?
You know that, though?
I don't. But I think I could make a safe bet that I wouldn't be a Barry Bonds level MLB player by taking steroids. It's like, I don't know. I think that they hit all those home runs because of their skill at the end of the day, but like at the same time you were cheating. So I don't think that they should be in the record books, to be honest.
So here's what I will say about that. Bonds, when you look at his season statistics before he took steroids, and it's now very well documented that he started after 98 with McGuire and Sosa, and he felt like that he wasn't getting the same recognition because Barry Bonds had a huge ego, which nobody likes to bring up ever. But when Bonds did that, he was not hitting anywhere close to 50, 60 in a season. And then he hit 73 in 2001 towards the end of his career, and then got better as his career aged and he got older. Aaron Judge did it at age 30. It makes sense, considering what he did also in 2017, hitting 50-some home runs as well.
Right.
So I think that you have to look at it from that way as well, that maybe Bonds, the cheating helped create his skill more, but it also made his career last longer as well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I hate that this record for Judge has turned into like a steroid debate in baseball.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because like we should all just be like praising Aaron Judge right now. I mean, dude, this is probably the best contract year for an athlete in any sport ever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
seriously.
Think about that, yeah.
Like he's proving himself for a contract right now.
Go give him a checkbook.
Oh yeah.
Whatever you want.
Oh, he's cashing in. I mean, he's gonna make over $300 million.
I will say this about, again, I'm gonna come off as a biased Yankee fan, but this has got to be up there. I know baseball's a long documented, like well documented sport.
Yeah.
This has got to be, I don't want to say top 10 because I don't know like too much detail about like records at least, but if you just purely compare on not what I think actually the bigger story here is not necessarily what Judge did, the discrepancy between Judge and the next person,
Right.
to me, is the bigger story.
No, that's like it's the biggest gap.
Like it's
pretty much
Babe
ever.
Ruth.
I'm pretty sure
He hit over 20 home runs more than the second place
Yeah,
guy.
Schwarber was second with 47.
62 and Schwarber at 46.
Okay, so 16. Okay,
16.
He
And
slumped.
that is the by the way, that is the widest gap since Babe Ruth.
Okay,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
61 was Mansfield and Maris, and they were pretty close. 98 was McGuire and Sosa, and they were pretty close. And even when Bonds hit 73, it was also like not that far away.
And
That's insane.
yeah, I will say this too. The man batted what? I think it was 3. Was it 11 now?
Yeah, I mean he's hitting 300 and hitting
but
62.
not only that. So this year specifically, the batting average has gone down every single year for the last whatever between shift change, advanced analytics.
Yep.
So 311, I think it was like upwards of 20 years ago. You would have been like not even in the discussion for highest average batting average Triple Crown. I think he finished second in triple for batting average.
Yeah.
So the man's not only the most prolific home run hitter we have in the game today, he is also debatably at 6'7" in that big strike zone, one of the hardest men to not get on base. Like,
Yeah.
With all the walks, with all the batting average and everything, the RBS and slugging percentage, and I'm a Yankee fan, I still think Shohei Ohtani should be MVP. Completely.
Right now?
Yeah, I still want to give it to Ohtani.
Wow. No way. I mean, I
just want to put that out. I wanted a little floater, but I think Judge's like hitting season purely is going to go down as one of the best. Purely not what he did, but purely how much he separated himself from the league.
Yeah. It's going to be one of the best seasons ever. You're right. And like going on what you said, I think that Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball, but I think Judge is going to win the MVP. I think he deserves the MVP over.
I think he's going to win. I just think Ohtani deserves it.
I mean, I think that he deserves the best player title.
Is that what MVP is?
I mean, is it though? Like, I think that we just go like off of the season. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much more what it is. And like we saw what Ohtani did in 2021, and then like
as great as it was, and as great as he was this year. Like he did dip
He was
like
better,
a little
he's
bit.
better this year.
But this is what I don't want people to do, is to get used to what Otani is doing, because this is not normal.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
We talked about that too. Like no one's gonna do this.
Say, oh yeah, like the same way that we get complacent with LeBron James doing what he does every year, and then saying, oh yeah, this can
I would take you one forward. Russell Westbrook did the triple double. Triple double's most underrated. It's like oh yeah, like you had another triple double. It's like no, that's hard to do.
Yeah, right.
Like as much as I think Russell Westbrook is a crybaby, like the man averaged 2 triple doubles in the season, which was no one averaged one.
Right.
Before, like, after Oscar Robertson, one.
Yeah,
right?
and he did it.
Yeah,
twice in a row. Yeah.
and didn't win MVP. Just goes, historical season. No.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
Gone, washed away.
I don't think if players would be doing that on like a semi-frequent basis. Like I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like Ben Simmons does it on a semi-frequent basis. Like I don't think players like would be doing that if Russell Westbrook didn't normalize it like that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
Draymond Green does it sometimes too, right? He's pretty advocate for.
He's like a CEO of triple singles though.
He is.
Yeah.
Some beef with that with Jordan Poole.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should get into that. I mean, we'll see. But
Oh yeah. Let's talk about it right now. Draymond attacks Jordan Poole.
so I heard initially when I saw that, I was like, "What is Draymond doing?" But I knew that some more stuff was going to leak, so I didn't want to formulate an opinion too soon. And then obviously information came out. Some Warriors have been upset with Poole because they think that his head is getting a little too big because he's coming up on getting a contract extension.
I mean,
So
I would be too if all the courtside.
No, 100%, 100%. It's hard not to. It really is. But I think that this is more Draymond, like, teaching a young player a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that there was necessary malicious intent behind it. More like he wanted to prove a point to Poole, saying like, yeah, you're about to get paid, but like you're putting yourself above your teammates right now, which is like just a cardinal sin of a championship team. And like, let's be real, Draymond is not letting that fly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So like, I'm on Draymond's side with this.
I am too. I kind of think we need to normalize this kind of stuff happening.
I agree. Because no one did it with Simmons. Like, I think that Simmons did this, and then, like, no one was there to yell at him. Like, we kind of have to fault Embiid because, like, Embiid just let it fester,
Yeah, I put him in, like, the same conversation as, like, Kevin Durant because, like, him and Embiid, like, if some shit happens on the team, like, they just kind of sit back and watch it happen.
Yeah.
And
instead of fixing it actively.
Yeah, oh man, it's really hard.
Like sometimes you have to have uncomfortable conversations.
It's really hard criticizing Embiid, but I think he learned his lesson though. Like
I hope, yeah. And I think that Harden, a new beginning to build a new culture there. Like him, Maxey, and Harden can build something different because like they had it so close with Embiid, Butler, Simmons. Like they could have built something there.
Paid the wrong guy.
Yeah. But like they can make a new leaf here. You know what I mean?
I was just going to add quickly that Draymond's role on the team is basically to be the vocal leader.
100%.
Like Curry and Thompson are great leaders in their own way, but not as the vocal guy. That's what Draymond has to be. And yeah, you might not like him for it if you're a teammate or if you're an official or anyone that's not on the Warriors. But if you're a Warriors guy and have been around him, you're 100% with him.
Yeah, 100%. And like if Draymond was a Sixer or if I was a Warriors fan, Draymond would be my favorite player.
Yeah.
But I can completely understand like Boston fans hating Draymond, because they were going in on him that final series. I can understand it, but like at the same time, you have to come out of that with a level head and realize how impactful Draymond is to winning basketball.
Yeah, I know I said he does triple singles, but that man is a Hall of Famer. He's very good at basketball.
Yeah. No, he's very good.
He just doesn't show it really in the stat sheet.
And like he's not even necessarily like the most skilled player. Like his shot's kind of ugly. He does some goofy things on the court, but like he's a leader. He's an incredible defender, great rebounder, sets amazing screens. He finishes around the rim. Offensive rebound, hustle plays. Like you can just go through a lot of check marks with him and like how he impacts the Warriors positively.
Yeah. And we'll transition really quickly. I think we're looking at like one of the biggest build-ups for a player coming into the NBA draft this year. Are you guys sold on Victor Wembanyama? I don't even know how to say that, right?
Yeah. Victor Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
Victor W.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that he has a ton of potential, and like people always get too caught up in a player this young. He's going to develop, and we'll see where he goes. But I think for now, the road that he's on, he's got a place in the league. I mean, when I was watching him, he's in the G League right now, right? Mm-hmm. Or he was playing.
They're thinking of shutting him down for.
No, stop. No, he needs to play. He said no to that too. By the way,
him or his agent?
It was him. He was saying his agent. Yeah, his agent said it. Yeah, like when I was watching him, he really reminds me of Embiid, like his bag, in terms of his isolation moves, how he is able to get to the spot he wants to, shoots over anyone, amazing length, amazing touch on his shot. So if he can put on weight, because that's the big thing with guys like him and Chet Holmgren, then you need to put on the weight. Like, you just have to. Wembanyama looked like he was doing pretty well in the low post, but at the same time, you're not playing NBA level talent. You're not playing NBA level athletes. So putting on that weight is going to help him in the long run in terms of his health, because being that frail can lead to injuries, just like being overweight can lead to injuries, like being underweight to that extent can lead to injuries also. So putting on that weight will help him, and then it'll make him more explosive and things like that, just like it did for Embiid.
Yeah, you mentioned Chet Holmgren, and that's exactly who I think about when I think of someone like him.
Yeah, he's the easy comparison. You know?
Yeah, and it's really weird because like a lot of people don't like Chet, but they like Victor, and Victor's a little taller. He may be slightly more talented. They like one and don't like the other.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I don't understand the Chet hate. I don't really get it.
I don't either.
I think that he is like a good person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he should be an easy guy to root for.
Yeah. And Victor, for me, is like a perfect example. We're not going to get on like the GOAT debate, but I think we're obligated to in a future episode. But when I look at him, I think this is like the most talented set of players in any era now than like in the 90s, 80s, 70s, like, and it's just getting better, and he's a prime example of that.
Yeah.
And literally anything he wants to accomplish in the league is his. It's just he needs to develop, like, want to learn, you know.
Yeah, right.
And not be like Jordan Poole.
Yeah, no, what his agent said though, like, makes me think that between the eyes, he's really good. He's good and he's well set. Mm-hmm. Because what his agent said was the NBA G League team, whatever it is, I don't even know, was thinking of shutting him down. And Victor, like, laughed at it pretty much and said, hell no. Like, he's all about basketball. He wants to play basketball. He wants to practice basketball. Like, that just is a formula for success. Like I said last week with Jalen Hurts, intangibles matter, especially for a growing player like that. That's very mature of him to say that, because it's very easy for him to be like, you know, he's young. And the team says, oh, we'll shut you down, so you're just practicing. So, like, it's very easy for him to be like, oh, I'll just practice and then go party at night, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't fall into that trap. Like, he is all about basketball, you know.
You know who did get shut down when they broke their foot?
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right.
Just saying.
I mean, 100%. Simmons.
And Jaleel, too.
Yeah, I mean, no, good for it, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of lack of accountability with the Sixers.
Like, your choice of big man, who do you want?
Yeah, right.
But, Jack, what you were saying, I actually wrote down some fun facts about Victor here, just from a physical standpoint, because I think it's remarkable, the kind of physical specimen. Everyone's got called a unicorn these days.
Yeah,
I think the term's almost
a true one.
Overused.
It is.
It is.
It really is. Now, I saw Victor more as a skinnier Kristaps Porzingis than I saw more Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. I think he likes living on the wing too much than actually, like,
that's true.
Being because his weight, honestly.
Yeah.
But just some stuff here. Wingspan 7'8". Giannis has a 7'3" wingspan. He's known as the Greek Freak. And then I did a little deep dive here. So, but because people were concerned about shooting, does he like it too much? He had a higher 3-point percentage than Luka Doncic did when he was in Europe in international games. and he had more blocks than Rudy Gobert did when he was also in international games going through the system. And he's listed and is taller than Boban. Exactly, a little butcher on that one. But here's the interesting fact that I did my own mental math for. There's 8 players in the NBA that are listed at 209 pounds, which is what he is listed at 7'3", 7'4", right? The average height for someone in the NBA at 209.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you guys can guess. Go for
6'3".
6'3"? Okay, what do you think?
6'5".
Okay, what do you think, Aiden?
I'm gonna go like 6'1".
So this is my surprise. It's harder than I thought, but it's 6'5" and 7/8. The average height for someone who's 209 pounds in the NBA. And this man is almost a foot taller than them. Is 11 inches taller than these people. And that's the only recipe for me that's like, is he another tall guy with all the skill in the world that, like, is he going to be injury riddled?
Yeah.
But if he literally has every basketball, physical, and tangible you could hope for. Yeah. The man jumps, and I think his head's at the rim already. It's like he's playing on an 8-foot hoop. Yeah. Genuinely.
Yeah, I think, like, if he stays healthy, we know one thing about his career. He'll be a force on defense. Like, we know that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you said you compared him to Kristaps, and a lot of people kind of roll their eyes when someone says that because Kristaps didn't really, like, pan out so far. But we know it. Everyone knows, like, what you are saying, and if he is what Kristaps could be, then the league's in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me after watching his tape of like a more skilled of these European guys. Like he's got a better shot than Giannis did at that point.
Right.
He's more athletic than Lauri Markkanen was, who was supposed to be the next Kristaps Porzingis.
I'm going to school Corey.
But when you look at like all these guys, like he has a little bit of all those guys. And he also was skinny almost as Giannis was when Giannis first came to the NBA. And the thing is, when it comes to weight, that's something you can, like, get. And once you hit the NBA locker rooms, they will make sure that he is not 209 pounds.
Yeah, just introduce him to the Zion diet.
I would say at a minimum 230, 240 once he's in the NBA locker room.
Yeah. Who do we think is going to win the tank for Wembanyama?
There's going to be a real push.
Yeah. I think the Rockets have gotten so many draft picks at this point that they need him. Like, if they don't get him, it will be a disaster for the franchise.
OKC, maybe.
What about Orlando?
Well, Obama experiment? Come on, man.
I kind of like their young talent, though. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, I think that they'll win enough games to keep them out of the one.
And I only say OKC because Chet went down and they might just shut down.
Yeah,
like, imagine Chet,
Giddey,
and Wembanyama.
Yeah,
that's.
Yeah.
Do you think Chet's going to be a true center, or do you think he's a wing player?
Wing.
That's what I'm thinking. Small forward, power forward.
Yeah,
but so 7'4" small forward. Dang.
Yeah.
You could do it though. I think you could do it.
I'm not saying he could.
Really good
I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
because like I think like you could have developed that. For me, if I was gonna put him at the 3, like my idea would have like a point guard that can create for others. So like he would be mainly getting passes that he's catching on the 3-point line off of drives, so that a defender's closing out on him. And for Chet, like he could easily like explode off that because of how long he is. That first step is going to get him like halfway to the rim. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he can shoot. So like if you're giving him that space, like he can shoot that. And his defense is so good.
It's so
He's
good.
really good at staying in front of guys.
He should be. He's 7 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
come on.
Even guys that are smaller than him, like he's so good at just letting them get by a little bit so they think they have the angle and then timing it perfectly to block that shot or tip passes. I think if you had him at the 3 along with 2 other very long players at the 4 and 5, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's extremely scary. And then offensively, that man can shoot. So
that translates to me. That's one thing that will translate in any league.
And he can sort of handle.
You
can sort of handle.
Yeah.
You know? So like, yeah, you're right. If you can shoot,
you can shoot.
Yeah, you can fit in any offense.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a bold prediction. I think next Olympics, France is going to win the World Cup. I mean, not the World Cup, the basketball. They're going to get the gold medal.
In the Olympics?
Oh, yeah.
Nah. I mean, if NBA players play, then nah.
They got Embiid. They're going to have Wembanyama.
Wait, Embiid?
Embiid's in France?
Embiid has U.S. citizenship.
Yeah, no, but he's moving he's getting citizenship in France because he doesn't want to play for Cameroon because they don't got a legit shot.
Yeah.
But Embiid's going to France
So they
to
have
play
Rudy Gobert,
internationally.
him, and
But why not come? But he just got a citizenship, so why not play for U.S.?
I don't know. I mean, if you're getting your
You want
French
a gold
citizenship,
medal.
But dude, like you have no.
He has family that lives in France. That would be my guess.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't know that to be 100% sure, but I know with a lot of families who have family in Africa, they also have a lot of family that moves to France as well.
Yeah.
I'm just
that would
saying.
be my guess, but
Victor-
I don't know if that's actually correct or not.
Victor Embiid and Rudy, that's a legitimate shot at a goal.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I don't know if the rest of their
Isn't that
team.
Tony Parker.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't he French?
There's no way
he's not
still
going to
playing
play,
for
right?
them.
I mean,
No.
like Fournier, though, they've got other guys. I'm just not thinking of them right now. Fournier.
That's it, I think.
Tony Parker should come out. Come on, man.
Yeah. Someone.
But
Okay.
like, dude, they're literally gonna have to. I mean, considering that NBA players play in the Olympics, which I don't know if they even will.
USA is beatable, though. They are beatable.
I don't know.
mean, it's happened.
Spain put up a fight against them in 2016. Was the 2016 was
6
the
years
last
ago.
Summer Olympics? That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Spain put up a fight against them, and who else did? Wasn't there like a smaller country that year who like?
Yeah, you're right. I'm blanking on which one it is.
Nigeria.
Was it them who like they
It-
came close? But
No, they blew out. It was not in like the tournament, but Gabe Vincent like tore them apart. It was like
really?
recently.
no, that was.
Nigeria, yeah.
I'm talking about in the 2016. It was someone that wasn't
It was
Spain.
a wake up call. Like, whoa, our
Yeah.
game shouldn't have been like
What,
that.
was it Argentina? It may have been them.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi playing basketball.
I know, yeah, right. Manu Ginobili actually was on that team.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
think he was on
Yeah,
the
he
Argentinian
was.
team. Yeah, because
Mhm.
2016
Good old
that's like the tail end of his career. He was still playing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, quickly just looked it up. Embiid reportedly does have family that lives in France.
Nah.
Which is how he's able to change nationalities. So.
Okay.
What a cop out.
I know, dude. Dude, play for the U.S.
Come on now.
Still love
We have
him,
Shirley
though.
Temples. What's he doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What?
Well, do you guys got anything quick?
Quickly, Kansas and TCU playing both.
I was gonna
undefeated
mention
teams
this.
in the Big 12, 12:30 kickoff. The game is going to be part of college football game day. Definitely pay attention to it because if Kansas starts out 5-0 after being another undefeated Big 12 team, they could actually be for real.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll touch on one quick college football game from this weekend coming up. Number 11 Utah playing number 18 UCLA. UCLA's 5-0, a name that makes Eagles fans shudder. Chip Kelly at the helm. But I think that Utah needs this win because if Utah wants any chance of the college football playoff, which I do think they have a shot at, they're going to need to win this game against UCLA, and then they're going to need to play USC, and they're going to have to win that game too. USC is number 6 right now. So if they want any shot, this is a huge game for Utah, who is a good team, so I would pay attention to that. I believe 7:30 kickoff.
Lasting question just for the boys here. Would you have sold the ball or given it back to Judge?
Sold it.
Sold it?
Dude,
Sold
that's
it.
millions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's gonna make more, like
Yeah, I'm sorry,
100
Judge.
times more than what I would get.
I'm really
for
sorry.
Paul, so.
I also would have sold it.
Sold
it.
I know like there was like the memorabilia aspect of it, like giving it back and everything. I would have sold it.
Yeah.
I'll give him my payday. I'm sorry.
Judge can't even be mad about
Listen,
that.
like Judge,
honestly.
you can buy it off me.
They said $2
for the
million
price that I
is what
want.
I'm gonna go for.
Dude, I will, like Judge. If you want to give me $2 million, like I will give you the ball.
Exactly.
I know he wants
Judge
it.
can
so,
buy it back
yeah.
for
Dude,
me.
he
Yeah.
could fart
I'll
that
give you a
money
discount.
out. Like,
Yeah, because, like-
1.5 from Judge. Throw a bat in there.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll do it. Yeah,
I'll settle.
an
I'm
autograph
gonna
or something.
settle for 1.5.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, these people like take the easy route and let these teams walk all over them. Like, oh, season ticket. It's like,
tickets,
that's not even
fast,
worth it. That's not
yeah.
even worth it. That's not even close to worth it. So like, don't let that
I want my
happen.
name on the stadium. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
I
Did
want
you guys
$2
see the guy that fell? Like,
I heard about
Yeah.
that. Did he pass away?
No, it wasn't like a steep fall.
Oh.
No.
Into the bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard about that.
Undercut beneath where the fans actually sit. So the ball fell in that undercut, so the fan jumped into it to grab the ball.
Yeah, he
I
was
would have
hoping it would like
done
pop out.
whatever it took to get
Yeah,
the
I'm
ball.
surprised there wasn't a mosh
That's
pit.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's the most polite mosh pit.
Well, it
I've
was
ever
Canada,
seen.
wasn't
That's
it?
what I'm saying.
No, it was Texas,
No,
right?
but-
It was
but-
Texas.
Yeah, if it was in New
Southern
York.
hospitality.
Oh, if it was in New York.
There
I guess Southern
someone on the broad on the hand.
Honestly, I could totally see some Texans like throwing hands over that ball. Like,
That's what
No.
I told my dad. I'm like, wow, like how quaint that the guy just caught the ball and they were celebrating. I would have dogged that.
no, I'm
man.
sorry.
I'm
If that was in New York though, and that went into the bleacher creatures in right field, oh,
Could you
boy.
imagine if it was a Phillies
Oh,
player in a
yeah.
Phillies game? Phillies fans, they would
Yeah.
still be fighting.
Yeah,
today.
yeah, we would still be fighting. over
Everyone
that.
would wear Timbs and just be
Yeah,
fighting each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Aiden, quick Nebraska update.
They are still not. No, they're 2-3. They're playing Rutgers this week. So
Oh,
they
go
are-
Scarlet
if
Knights!
They lose this, then I have absolutely less faith in them than I already do, which is basically zero.
If
So
if they lose to Rutgers, that's an all-time low.
Yeah.
they beat Indiana last week, so maybe they're on a little bit of a upturn. I
Maybe.
don't think so, but
No.
hey, you know what? A win's a win at this point for Nebraska fans.
Whatever you tell yourself, my guy. Bears fan and oof.
No, he's not Nebraska. He doesn't.
No, he hates Nebraska.
oh.
He hates Nebraska.
Despise Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm like that.
Yeah, that's
you're
heartbreak
going
central.
through it, dude. I don't know what you're signing
I'm
up
sure
for
there's a
here.
lot of Nebraska, Chicago Bear fans, though. I'm sure there's a lot of this, to be honest.
Yeah, they're definitely not having a fun football season.
Yeah, nah.
Call those Packers fans nowadays. They gave up.
They
gave up.
I will say, the people having the roughest season are Bears and Northwestern fans. Because let
Yeah.
me tell you, Northwestern, after beating Nebraska, not look
Yikes.
good.
Yeah.
Hey, Philly fans are having a great time.
Eh,
For now. For
Hey,
now.
Phillies in the
now.
playoffs. Hey, the Phillies in the playoffs, right?
yeah. I mean,
The Eagles are doing good.
we can't buy in with the
Yeah.
Phillies. Though. I just can't buy
I think
in.
St.
I
Louis
need
is
them
going to win the
to-
World Series. I don't have any baseball
Really?
jargon
No,
to
I
back
think
it
the
up.
Phillies are going to win. I think the Phillies are going to
Really?
win this series, yeah.
I think Phillies can beat the Cardinals. I think they have a legit shot.
I think they will.
I only am saying this because of the Albert Pool. And they have a really good team, too. Like,
St. Louis, yeah.
yeah, they have a really good team, but I think it would be so storybook, kind of like when Peyton Manning won his final
Yeah,
year.
okay.
But it's a long shot, but that's my hot
They
take.
always seem to come out of nowhere and win a World Series every
I
once in a
know.
while.
Yeah.
They feel like they do.
I don't
Mhm.
like them.
It would be the year for them to do it. if
Yeah,
they
this
did.
would be it, yeah.
Yankees
Wayne
are
Raymond
sweeping
would-
everybody. Final. Called it.
I don't think they're
I'm
going to
all
buy
in.
Houston.
I'll be the guy.
I
feel like that's-
Houston again. It happens every year.
I know.
I
and
feel
it's
like that's why Yankee fans aren't really celebrating the Judge thing because they're just ready for heartbreak come October or even
We'll see.
quicker than
I
that.
sign up for heartbreak every day. I'm a Bears fan. I sign up for heartbreak every day.
Yeah.
I put myself through it.
Well, Sean, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
That-
thanks, Sean.
yeah, you did really well.
Yeah, this was really fun, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, I'm back one like another time, sometime soon. But this
Yeah,
was,
for sure.
Definitely really fun to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'll see you. I see you like practically every day. So
But I appreciate meeting everybody. I mean, Jack, if you want to, but I had a great time, honestly. Like
Yeah.
with everybody, it was
Sure.
really cool, especially because I don't get to talk to like much sports that are not like my own sports team. So it was
Yeah.
cool to pick someone else's brain for once.
Right.
But thank you for inviting me on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. We'll call it for this week. Stay tuned for next week as we'll break down week 5 and other trending sports. Peace.